So again, as a reminder, our second scenario here is our CMO learns in that meeting with sales leadership that one competitor in particular, called Valdrix, is giving our sales reps can you all hear me okay? I think
Yes.
okay. Um, One competitor is giving our sales reps an especially big amount of trouble. They need some intelligence to help them win deals against this competitor. So I'm going to hand things over to Patty. I'm going to pull up a slide that we created with, again, exported architect insights and Claude. Patty's going to speak to the slide a bit, share some best practices, some thoughts around sales enablement, and then I'll bring it back to Architect to show you all the workflow in Architect in the saved view that made it really easy for us to create the slide. So I'm going to stop sharing quickly, pull up our slide, and share. Patty, anything else before you take it away?
No, I'll just jump in. Thank you. Okay, so as Connor mentioned, this is the output of pulling information from Architect, different insights that we captured, similar to the scenario that he just went through. So we've captured these competitive insights on Valdrix, and the sales team is having trouble in conversations. Valdrix keeps coming up, and they need some third-party validation. How do we want to position ourselves against them so that we can, shorten the sales cycle and help close deals? So we basically want to mine the data that we've put in there, and Connor will go through the workflow,
Yep.
but feed it out to the sales team in a timely way so that as they're having these discussions, they're well informed about what the analysts are saying and can have some proof points for why the company should go with Bistro instead of Valdrix. We want to think of this, obviously gives, it gives Valdrix weaknesses, it gives go-to-market vulnerability, Bistro differentiators. We might have some other things we want to pull. This is, just giving you some food for thought. But you'll want to think about how often you're going to want to pull out this information and feed it out to sales. Maybe it's something you do every month, maybe it's quarterly, maybe it's based on different triggers in the market because the market's always going to be moving. So maybe there's a acquisition. Valdrix has just acquired a company. The analysts are talking about this. The sales team wants to know, are the analysts saying that this is a real, groundbreaking acquisition? It's going to mean big things for Valdrix, and how will we compete? Or are they saying it's going to be drag on them? It really won't, be a benefit for 6 to 12 months. Really helpful for the sales team to know that quickly if we're having inquiries with the analysts on these topics, and we can capture some insights and feed it out to them. There might be product announcements that might trigger you wanting to push out new information. Valdrix has just made an announcement and they're proclaiming that this new feature is, going to be really be moving the market. And we need to know what the analysts are saying about this. Bistro's actually had that feature for the last 6 to 12 months or whatever it might be. We need to have that competitive intelligence, and having that insight from the conversations we've had with the analysts and being able to pull it out pretty easily and push it out to sales is really beneficial. There might also be a new entrant into the market. So all of a sudden, Bistro is coming up against another competitor that they haven't seen a lot, and sales isn't really sure how they want to tackle this. If maybe sales is feeding back to the analyst relations team that they're encountering this company, and we want to have some inquiries around them, find out, what the differentiators are, and arm the Bistro sales team with those insights. So we want to push the information out while it's fresh so that the sales team can sort of take action on it. Now, if there's somebody that said, we're coming up against Valdrix, we really need this information, we might be thinking about the other competitors that some of our other sales team are coming up against, a couple other vendors that were, competitors that were mentioned. Do we want to proactively create some assets on those other competitors and be pushing that out to the sales team in whatever channels that they're using? And we really want to make sure we're pushing it out to sales, kind of meet them where they are. If they have a, sales Slack channel, if they have a quarterly or a monthly call that we might be invited to every now and then, if analyst relations can be at sales kickoff to educate them about the fact that we're gathering all these insights and we can tee them up for them sometimes. So that's, basically we want to be thinking proactively about what some other competitors might be doing as well. Connor can show you the methodology, but essentially we want it to be that you can set it up in ARchitect so that you've got good hygiene there. You can pull it out quickly, and it will be an easy and impactful thing that you can share out with to your sales team. And a nice looking deliverable that's pretty easy to do. So I think did I miss anything, Connor? I think I covered pretty much everything.
Forgive me if I missed this. I was just checking my notes really quick, so I may have missed hearing you say this. Did you touch on, collaboration with competitive intelligence for anyone on the call who has a dedicated competitive intelligence team, how that
Yeah,
dynamic might work here?
yeah. I mean, there are some AR people out there that have competitive intelligence underneath them.
Right.
It's part of their responsibility. But yes, a lot of you might have a separate competitive intelligence team, and they're probably they're pulling a lot of information as well. But these inquiry conversations, if you have sort of a dedicated program about the competition, and you're able to pull some of these key insights, it's another view, a very concentrated view from the analysts that we can make sure is getting sent out to the sales team. And the other thing too is that, AR is always kind of, we're trying to prove the value of analyst relations, having a direct impact on sales, being able to point to the direct impact on sales is really important. So this is a great way to do it.
Yep. I think that was it. So I'm actually going to show quickly. Again, we created this slide with Claude. So I'll show you all how we prompted Claude and how that process went over the course of just a few minutes. And then I'll go backwards even one more step back to ARchitect to show how we pulled the precise set of insights that we needed to create this slide. And forgive me, I underestimated the number of times I would be stopping and starting my screen share. So if it's disorienting, I apologize. Noted for next time. I'm just pulling up Claude real quick. And there you are, Claude. I'll just read really quick how I prompted Claude to create the slide that you all just saw. You're the head of AR for a cybersecurity vendor, Bistro. Each row in the attached spreadsheet, I'll show how we got it, is an insight you recently received from a cyber technology analyst. Each insight pertains either to a Bistro differentiator or a piece of intelligence on a Bistro competitor called Valdrix. The head of sales has tasked you with delivering a quick presentation to her team to help them win more head-to-head deals against Valdrix. Use the attached spreadsheet to identify the 3 recommendations you will give to the sales team during your presentation. So that was the prompt. Again, I'll talk about where this came from. First, I'll show you Claude, as Claude sometimes likes to do, went way over the top at first. Like this whatever this is way more than what I was hoping Claude would give me. So had to go back and forth a little bit, ask Claude to condense the output. This was much better. So once I had these bullet points, say, great, now create the slide. And then a few back and forth messages, and we ended up at that slide that you all just saw. So just took a few minutes. So let's talk about what we did in ARchitect to make it really easy to create that slide. Just getting my screen ready. And okay, we are back in ARchitect. So again, the scenario here was we learned from sales leadership and our CMO, hey, our reps really need help against Valdrix. So I'll show you all another saved view that we created, talk about some custom fields that made it really easy to do this. Come over here to saved views, and I'm going to select 2026 differentiators or Valdrix. That will make more sense in a second. So go to my saved view. Again, 2 clicks, 2 seconds. We have the exact set of insights, the precise intelligence we need to fulfill this request. How we created this saved view, again, filtered to this year. And then in terms of the other filters, we're using 2 different custom insight fields here. So differentiator is true. So we have tagged this insight as saying, hey, an analyst said this is a differentiator for our solution. Or the competitor tag to the insight is Valdrix. That's how we got here, saved this view, and then there are 12 insights, exported to a spreadsheet, gave it to Claude, you saw the prompt, and a few minutes later, we had a slide ready for our presentation. So that's how we used ARchitect plus AI for our second scenario.